In my hospital room, my sister pulled my monitor cord and said, "You always fake being sick." But the nurse outside heard everything. She walked in and said, "You're not leaving." I called the police. My sister turned white. My mom begged. I wasn't even fully awake when the screaming started. My sister, Tessa, was already in my hospital room complaining about parking validation. I'd totaled my car the night before. Cracked ribs, sprained leg, bruises blooming across my chest. My mom sat by the window scrolling her phone. Tessa stood at the edge of my bed, inspecting me like damaged merchandise. "So dramatic," she said, touching the heart monitor cord. "You totaled your car for what? A few cracked ribs? You always fake being sick." Then she yanked it out. The screen went dark, just silence. What? But none of us noticed. The door hadn't fully closed. The nurse had been standing just outside. She stepped in, calm but steely-eyed. "You're not leaving. I've called the police." Tessa went pale. My mom started babbling excuses. She didn't mean it. She's just stressed. But the nurse reconnected the monitor and didn't say another word to them. 10 minutes later, 2 officers walked in. They asked if I felt safe. I didn't answer. That was enough. They detained Tessa and my mom for interfering with medical equipment and threatening a patient. I watched them stumble over their words, deny everything, blame each other, then go silent as they were escorted out. The door clicked shut. For the first time since the crash, I didn't feel like I was the problem. But the relief didn't last. Dr. Connor came in later. She told me this wasn't the first time Tessa had been flagged. While I'd been unconscious, Tessa tried to access my chart twice, claiming she was my emergency contact. When denied, she told nurses I had a history of attention-seeking and tried to convince them to take me off pain medication. My mom was caught on camera rolling her eyes, making faces, mocking the way I was breathing. I was moved to a quieter floor that night for my safety. 2 days later, I got my phone back. 32 missed calls, 17 voicemails. Tessa had texted at 3 o'clock a.m., "I can't believe you let them arrest us." Then my aunt called. My mom had told everyone I'd set them up and was ruining the family's name. I told my aunt the truth. By the end of the day, word had spread through our family chat. When I was discharged, they were waiting outside. My mom held flowers and a balloon that said, "Get well soon." "We didn't mean for it to get so far." She smiled. I didn't respond. I didn't take the flowers. I didn't slow down. Then came the voicemail from my landlord. Someone had called asking for a copy of my key. When he asked for ID, she hung up. She said she was my sister. I checked my bank account next, the joint one I'd set up years ago to help with my mom's medical bills. It had $10,000 3 months ago. Now it had $826. Someone had come to the bank asking about closure forms. The teller denied them. No ID, but they gave a name, Tessa. I closed every account that day, changed my locks, installed cameras. That night, motion detected at 12:17 a.m., a man I didn't recognize stood on my porch, phone to his ear. Then he looked directly at the camera and said my name like he knew me, like he expected me to open the door. He stood there for 2 minutes, walked back to a car I didn't recognize and drove off. My uncle sent the footage to police. 2 days later, my cousin texted. Tessa had posted on social media, "People who betray family don't realize how replaceable they are." My uncle called a family meeting. He laid out everything. The hospital report, the insurance beneficiary change attempt, the drained bank account, the midnight visitor. My cousin Abby said my mom had called asking how much I might have inherited from our grandfather. There was no inheritance. My uncle removed both of them from the family business account and froze the trust our grandfather had left. Then they showed up at my door, no warning. My mom waved a folder. Tessa knocked over a lamp. My uncle didn't yell. He just said, "If you speak one more word, I'll have you both cut out of every remaining contract, every asset, every dollar tied to this family." Then he looked at me. "Do you want them here?" I said, "No." For the first time in my life, someone actually listened. When I left a week later, I didn't tell anyone but my aunt and uncle. I just disappeared. The apartment was 2 hours away, small, with a bolt lock that worked and neighbors who didn't ask questions. The restraining order stayed in place. No violations, no calls, no cars.